Hallelujah. Your Honor, I'd move the admission of governments 4.
No objection, Your Honor.
Court will receive Exhibit 4 in evidence.
Now, in this telegram, Governor Crittenden wrote to you, Major Neill, and told you that he appreciated your counsel in the matter and would proceed with the James solution as discussed, concluding with the expression, James gang will not long stand. Now, what date was this telegram sent?
Telegram was dated July 24th, 1881.
All right. Now, Your Honor, I'd ask the court take judicial notice of the calendar for July of 1881. What day of the week was this telegram sent?
According to your calendar, Sunday.
All right. Thank you. Now, at any point after the killing of Jesse James, or at any point around the time which he was killed, did you talk to Governor Crittenden about the instructions that he gave to Mr. Ford concerning what should be done with Jesse James?
I do not recall any such conversations.
How odd.
Well, I object, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Thank you.
I apologize, Your Honor. Now, but did you not, in fact, give an interview on April the 19th to a newspaper called the Lexington Independent?
April 19th of what year?
April 19th of 1882.
I believe I talked to a newspaper reporter about that time, yes.
Okay. Oops, hold on here. And in that interview with the Lexington Independent, did you not tell them that in this case I understand that the pursuers of Jesse James were instructed to take him dead or alive?
Yes, I did. All the wanted posters said wanted dead or alive.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Major, the Attorney General characterized the governor's election as a bloodthirsty platform.
I heard that.
Wasn't it the James gang that was really the bloodthirsty ones?
Absolutely it was.
Was the only concern of you and the governor and others the economic damage that the James gang did?
Of course not. It was the safety of the citizens of the state of Missouri.
Mr. James killed many people, didn't he?
He killed many people, and the people of the state of Missouri were in fear for their life because of the James gang and the activities of the James gang.
He created widows and orphans.
Absolutely he did.
He shot men who were unarmed.
He was a bloodthirsty thug.
And this man, who you've said is your friend, was elected to do the job of a governor and enforce the laws of this state, correct?
He had the duty to do it.
You never heard the governor say directly that the only option was to kill Jesse James, did you?
Of course not.
You never heard him say that the only option was to have an assassin in his life.
Of course not.
Now,
the governor talked about apprehending him, stopping him. That was the thrust of the conversations we had. That was the thrust of our correspondence.
We saw in the letter the governor referred to the possibility that Jesse James' life might end by an assassin's bullet.
That'd be tough for him, but too bad.
In a cutthroat like Jesse James, it's no surprise that he might have enemies, isn't it?
Of course not. And it's too bad that he had to die that way. It would have been a lot better if the state had captured him and we'd been able to try him and bring him to justice by a hangman's noose. But it didn't happen. But the good news is he's done doing what he was doing. He's not scaring the state of Missouri any longer.
And in fact, you're familiar with the proclamation the governor put out about Jesse James, aren't you?
Yes.
Let me show you what we had marked as Defendant's Exhibit 1. That's a proclamation of the governor of Missouri, a defendant here on trial for murder, correct?
Yes, sir.
And this proclamation says that Mr. James, Jesse James, and Frank James were wanted for several murders.
Yes, it does.
2 train robberies,
Yes.
3 deaths,
Yes.
a conductor and another employee of the train.
Yes.
Innocent men.
Absolutely innocent.
And this proclamation says and discusses a reward, does it not?
And rightfully so.
A $5,000 reward.
Yes.
A reward that the governor worked to put together, didn't he?
Yes.
The laws of this state would only allow $300 for a reward.
That's my understanding.
And that wasn't going to be good enough to get someone like Jesse James, was it?
Probably not.
And the governor, after he was elected, went to work to try to come up with an appropriate reward.
It's what he needed to do.
$5,000.
Yes, sir.
There was nothing illegal about that, was there?
No, sir.
There was nothing unusual in these times we live in of wanted, dead, or alive.
All the time.
Would you agree that a man who would try to attempt the capture of Jesse James would have the right to try to defend himself if he had to?
Absolutely.
And what the governor said in here was a reward for the capture of Frank and Jesse James, did he not?
That's true.
You never heard him talk or say directly that he had to have Jesse James killed.
Not in any conversations between the two of us.
The governor of our state talked about a permanent solution
Yes,
to
he did.
the James problem, did he not?
Yes, he did.
Mr. James had done enough bad things, didn't he, that if he had been captured, he could have been locked up for the rest of his life.
Yes, he could. Hopefully a very short life.
Could have been short, couldn't it?
Yes,
Because
sir.
this state has the death penalty, does it not?
Yes, it does.
And a man that's killed as many people as Jesse James certainly will be someone that could have received the death penalty after his capture.
Almost assuredly would have received the death penalty.
That would be a permanent solution to that problem, wouldn't it?
Sounds like it to me.
Now, you served in the war
Yes, I did.
about 20 years ago, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you're aware of the troubles this state has gone through during that time period?
Absolutely. It's a divided state. It was hard to preserve the Union.
And it's been 20 years since, and we've had some problems since that time, haven't we?
Yes, we have. There are still a number of citizens who are loyal to the South.
And you would agree that this state needs to come together, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
And enforce our laws.
Absolutely.
Become a state that our citizens can feel safe in.
Absolutely.
Become a state that the economy and the trains can feel safe to run through.
Absolutely.
And when we've talked, and when the Attorney General has talked to you about economic interests, those were valid interests, weren't they?
Very valid. It's the people of the state of Missouri depend upon the railroad to bring money into the state so that they can survive, so they can do commerce.
And in fact, the railroads were talking about bypassing Missouri north and south, weren't they?
They sure were.
And the governor, as you said in your letter to him, had a solemn duty to work to enforce the laws of this state.
He did.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Redirect.
Cross-examination, you and counsel engaged in a spine-chilling colloquy about the number of things that Mr. James is alleged to have done. To the date of his death, was Mr. James ever convicted of a single crime by a judge or jury in Missouri, in this state, or any other? Yes or no?
Sure.
The
He
answer is
killed a
no,
lot of
isn't it,
people,
Major?
but I
Thank
don't
you. No
remember
further
him ever
questions.
being convicted.
Anything further?
No, Your Honor.